Greetings fellow tank commanders. In this video I'm going to be showing you a game that I played in the commander mode on World of Tanks console. This is a 1 vs 1 real-time strategy game which is currently being tested and only available to a certain group of players. All games for this mode are played as a hidden village encounter battle, using identical teams of tanks. Learning from my previous inefficiencies, I'm double-clicking A on each type of tank to select them as a group and send them to an area of the map. I want my lights and mediums in the middle spotting out, my tank destroyers overwatching, and my heavy tanks guarding the base. A pretty basic dispersion which gives me good control of the map, especially around the encounter base. And I'm happy to report that this time no tanks were left behind at the spawn. Now it's important when you're sending your light tank on a relatively risky spotting run to have direct control over him, because as soon as he gets spotted you should have him roll back so he doesn't take any unnecessary damage. It's very useful and very fragile in this game mode, because usually light tanks can just drive up and do a circle on their spotting area and then drive backwards, but you don't have that kind of direct control over a spotting run, so you just have to manually put him up and put him back. So because of that spotting run, I now know that the enemies are grouping together in one area. So my goal right now is to hit them from as many angles as possible, and just try to deny them the opportunity to focus fire any of my tanks. I'm putting a heavy tank on the base as a decent spotting position, and also over time having the base alarm going off might cause a little panic and force the enemy to do something foolish. My main concern is now the right flank. Since I have the rest of the map pretty well covered, I just have to watch that I don't get outmuscled on the right side, because there's a lot more cover over there, so I have to directly position each tank to support each other. I'm starting to take quite a good advantage here, so I want to get these two passive tank destroyers in the action. At this point I can just keep throwing bodies at my opponent and just continue to wear him down. My main worry at this stage is just having inactive tanks. I've lost all my heavy tanks on the right flank, but I still have 3 full health Scorpion Gs over there. Since we're in the final stages of the game, those tank destroyers can pretty much just brawl their way through. But one problem was that my Scorpion Gs were getting stuck behind the heavy tank Rex, so I had to send them on a bit of a flanking maneuver to get those final shots. Now let's check the post-game stats and see how I did. I got the maximum amount of damage for this game mode, which is 11,850. Unfortunately, since this game mode is just a test, I don't get any extra perks for this. Now we can just have a quick peek at our 2 team stats. I dealt an additional 3,000 damage from my opponent, and I can see from these stats that I overextended too early with one of my IS-3s and the Liberté, and my Scorpion Gs weren't as active as they could have been. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing another game in the Commander mode. It makes a huge difference when you can coordinate multiple tanks at the same time. Even if your overall strategy isn't flawless, engaging with groups of tanks will definitely help you wear down the enemies faster. My dispersion was quite staggered this game, and so the big group of enemies could only see a few of my tanks at a time, and that gave me great opportunities to throw fire at them, especially with my medium tanks and light tank in the middle. Stay tuned for more awesome World of Tanks videos.